Hello everyone, welcome to Writing Quest. My name is Brendan, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how I do my daily writing in Notion. Huzzah! Alright, so we're back in Notion, and if you've watched our last couple of videos on this, you are familiar with this particular layout. Again, I got this template originally from Mel Lee Smith. You should check that out, and then I obviously adapted it to my needs. But today, in the last video, we talked about the projects and how to track projects and all that, but today we're going to go into more of the detail of how I do the daily writing. So if you click onto the daily writing, if you look here, this is the whole big list of all the daily writing. Is it too much to track daily writing? I don't know. Personally, I like to know it because I can kind of go back and see if I'm slacking or if I'm doing pretty good. So for instance, the last couple of times I wrote, I went over the goal here, but I was way under here, but I've been doing pretty good in other places. So let's talk about the process. So I go into here when I sit down to write, and I normally write in the morning, and I've created this little template. So if you click the little caret button here, and you click Of Wolves and Wizards, Book 1, First Draft, it brings up this nice little template. So I'll put in the date, which as of today is this, as of this recording. And then I also put in the title, Of Wolves and Wizards. Just because it helps visually when you look at it on the list, you can see better about what you're looking at. And then it's also very important to put in the date because that helps sort it. So you put the date in, I put in the title, but I also put it there. And then I don't really care about this type, chapter, scene. It doesn't really matter to me. Most of the time I do fill it in but there's really nothing there. And then this is where I do the words. So when I'm done writing, and we'll come back to this, I'll show you how it does that so that you get the difference of what you're doing. I always set a goal of 500 words currently with my work schedule and life schedule. That's just what works for me. So you could set that to be anything. It could be 1,000, 2,000, 10, whatever. It could be nothing. Don't make it be nothing. Do some writing. And then if I want to, I can actually attach the project. I could click in here, do this, which I'll do that. I'll just do that. I can find it in the list here. Of Wolves and Wizards. There you go. See? So I can attach the project to it if I want to. And then I come down here. So if you come down to the chapter list, which this is the same chapter list you see in the project sections, all that kind of stuff. So if I got to open this page just so we can make this a little bigger. So basically I just scroll down and I go to wherever I'm at. So these are all completed, so I'm not in those. So I'll go up to wherever the first one is, the first draft. So I just started this the other day. It's only got I've only got one session in on that. And basically what I do before I write, and this is really important, is I don't always reread everything that I've wrote, but I go back through and I just read through kind of the outline that I've done. I familiarize myself with it. Go back through. When I finish writing a chapter, I always update this so that it is correct with current information and it's not ideas. So like these are all what is exactly happens. This is my ideas for the future. This is what I want to do. So I look at that, figure out here, this is where I was before. And then if I go to open, it pulls up the actual document that I'm writing in. So again, it has this outline if I want to keep familiarizing myself with what I've chosen for this. And then I go in here and you start writing. So you come here, do a little bit of writing. Actually, we messed around a little bit the other day, showing Aiden some stuff, so I'm going to delete that. But go through, hello, my name is ... etc. So now what's most important is the word count. As you all know, I like to track my words. So at the end of a session, and I know, so Notion is not a writing program. It's one that I use to write, and there are some limitations. And I recognize that, and a lot of people have said, like, well, you should use a dedicated writing app. I like what I can do in Notion, and I've figured out a good process. So I think if you want the flexibility to track as whatever kind of data you want to track, That's why it's a good program. So after I finish writing, again, I try to get my 500 words or whatever. I go up to this little dot here, or these 3 dots here, and you go down. So this number, this word count, automatically will update based on what I've written. So I take that number and I minus it from the original word count number. So say I wrote 200 words. Keep that number in mind for a minute. So then I'll update this with what the new number is, what the new word count of the document is. And then I come back to my daily writing log and I'll type in the words. So say I wrote 200 words, type it in there. 2 things just happened. It gives me the difference. So like if I didn't quite hit it, it says you got 300 words left. Or if it goes over, it'll say a negative number, and that's like how many more I did than my goal was, which is always good. And then the number that I put in before on the writing page, so if we go back to At Night Come the Wolves, this chapter, whatever this number is here will update the progress bar in the projects. So for instance, if we do a experiment and I put in 10,000 words, okay, so let's just do that. Let's claim this writing as its own. And then I go back to here and I go back into my projects. This has jumped up to 26%, so this updates. So before it was at like 17, so I added 10,000 words to it. Obviously, I didn't write 10,000 words. But that's why it's important for that, because it keeps track of your progress of the whole thing, which is important. So, hold on. What do we got going on here? Let me change that back so I didn't mess up my count. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much how the daily writing goes. And then what's fun is that when you go into the log, you can always go back and see. So it says I did this. Now I'm going to delete it because I didn't actually do it. But you get the point. And then we have this little writer thing. So Aiden and I are writing this together. So when he jumps on and he writes, it'll say Aiden Pugh. So then that helps both of us. As we go back and forth, I can see what he wrote. He can see what I wrote. And, you know, it just works really well for us, because that's the other part. Originally we were just writing it in a normal Pages document, and we were struggling to keep it all straight of who was writing what, and you know, we decided we had to get more complicated so that it could be simpler, if that makes sense. Anyways, that has been today's video on how we do the daily writing log. I hope it was helpful, and I hope that you are coming around to the idea of probably using Notion as your tracker for your fantasy series or whatever you're writing. It could be for anything. It doesn't have to be a fantasy series. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, check out the book on Wattpad, and come back for our next video. We'll see you next time. Huzzah!